The mistakes that most business owners make when they want to try to start to back out of their business. I have backed out of my business 12 years ago when I gave birth to my oldest. And, it wasn't like I just made a decision that I'm no longer going to work here, right? I had to be very strategic as I was building my $1 million business. How do I make sure that when I leave, it doesn't fall apart without me? Welcome to today's live. We're talking about building a business that runs without you. I love that people are already here and jumping on. Say hi in the chat. Let me know who's here. I cannot wait to talk about this conversation today. So I am an open book. I run two multiple seven-figure businesses. My goal is that these businesses do not need me, right? The businesses cannot just be so reliant on just the owner, or if it is fragile and can fall apart at any moment. And not only that, it's like you're playing Jenga. And at any moment, that Jenga tower is going to come crashing down. Okay. We want to make sure you are building a stable business that doesn't need you to thrive. Sound good? I love it. Brooke, Art Venture, Donna, Mary Liz, welcome, welcome, welcome. Excited to have you guys here today. So first, what I want to get really, really clear on, and when I start talking about this, some people go, it's so foreign to them because they are everything to the business. They work 60, 80, 100 hours, 7 days a week. They never take off. Like they kind of like some of the control, right? They want to be in charge. And they're like, what do you mean? But I love this part. I don't want to not do that. The good news is when you truly have a business that's an asset, you get to pick and choose what you want to do. So let's say for me, my background is I have children's dance, music, acting schools here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's say for me, I truly loved teaching dance, and that is all I wanted to do at age 40. That is all I still wanted to do. I could go and do that, right? At some point, if I was like, you know what, I miss it, I want to go back, I could go and do that. Like I have the freedom and the choice to do whatever it is I want to do, right? And that's what I want you to understand is when you build a valuable asset that runs without you, you get to pick and choose everything. Now, I actually do really love dance still, but I'd have to choose missing my children's activities. They are not in dance, unfortunately, to go to work in the evenings. And in this stage of my life with my kids' ages, I want to be fully present. I don't want to miss family dinners. I want to be here. So that is why I don't teach dance right now. But I have friends in the studio world that are teaching and love it, right? So I want you to figure out what is your dream situation? What do you get to hold on to in your business? What would you do if you could pick anything? Right? If I promised you that this year your business was going to gross more than it did last year, profit more than it did last year, and I was going to make sure I took care of it, and you only had to do the things you love to do, what would you say? What's on that list? What do you think? Put it in the chat. For me, I love live training. Like me being live on YouTube right now, I get excited. I'm excited to talk to real business owners, right? I'm excited to share my journey, answer any questions you have. I am an open book, and I love to give back because a lot of people told me what to do as I started to climb, and I want to be able to give that to anybody that's listening who's looking for that, right? So with that said, what are the things you love to do? And for me, sometimes in the beginning, what I notice with working with a lot of different clients in all different industries is sometimes they think, I'm here, here's the dream, I'm going to get here as soon as I possibly can. And you have to be really, really careful because this journey, the length of time is going to be different for all of you. If you're in a business where your clients only know you, you are the business, you are the brand, there is nobody else they see, it's going to take a minute to get them to fall in love with somebody else and want to stay with your company. Okay. So when somebody says to me, Stacy, can I get out in 18 months? Stacy, can I get out in 3 years? It's going to be different for every single person, depending on the business you have built, right? So With me and my studios right now, they are going to be I started them 23 years ago this summer. 12 years ago is when I removed myself. There was nothing I needed to do 12 years ago. But 15 years ago, there were things I needed to do that people expected of me. And I really had to properly plan as I was trying to get pregnant and figure out how do I actually enjoy my baby and have a maternity leave and not have everybody walk out the door, right? And here's the deal. You have to have such an impeccable reputation. The business has to be bigger than you for it not to fall apart, right? So right now I am the face of the marketing inside of Well Oiled. I am the main instructor. The curriculum is my curriculum, right? If something, God forbid, were to happen to me right now, where I had to be completely out of the business for 6 months, I will tell you this right now. The back end with our current clients would not fall apart. The business is bigger than me on the back end, right? When we get reviews, we just got like a phenomenal review on the Better Business Bureau, and it wasn't about Stacy. It was actually about the inside and the person's coach and who they were working with and all of these things. And I love it. I love it, right? I love that the business is bigger than me. If the business is you, you're trapped. You're stuck. And when you're stuck, you don't have options. When you're stuck, you're desperate. When you're stuck, you have to do whatever you have to do. And we don't want you to be there, right? So there is this, I'm talking to like two ends of the spectrum. One person who's like, I'm never going to be able to get out. And I'm like, yes, you can. But then I'm talking to the other person who's like, I'm getting out tomorrow and it's going to be just fine. And I'm like, no, it's not. There are things we have to do. So you've got to be really, really careful. So let me just kind of give a little story of how I went from being everything in the business and then kind of show you the trajectory of what I did over how many years would I have been there? I guess maybe 10 or probably 12 years as well. Okay. So first, I was everything. I was the dance teacher. I was the administrative assistant. Like I was the person taking the bills, calling the people. I was the marketer. I was literally everything, right? So for me, what I did specifically was I looked at all of these areas of the business, right? There's marketing, there's actually client fulfillment or product mastery, whatever you sell. If you've got a physical product, you're in e-com, maybe you're in the online digital products, maybe you have services, right? Maybe you sell products, programs, who knows, okay? So there's that piece, right? There's like selling this thing and then there's fulfilling on this thing, right? And then there's all these other pieces. And I had to look and say, where do I need to go first and really get this dialed in before I can ever walk away? So I went from being everything to being everything and training one department to start to replace me. Okay. So I actually decided, and I'm not saying this is the right way, this is just the way that I did it. Okay. I decided that I was going to back out of teaching first. And I was going to get teachers to be just as good as me and start to hire people even better than me. Okay. So for maybe a year or so, I went from being, let's say the previous year, I'm the only person that you are coming to and you want me to train you, right? To starting to shine a light on some other people. And the way that I first did it was I didn't just say like, oh, they're just as good as me. I was like, hey, listen, this person is better than me in this category, right? And this person is amazing at this, right? So for instance, maybe I was well-rounded or I could do certain things, but I started to bring in my weaknesses. I started to be like, oh, this person is hip hop, right? And you're going to love them in hip hop. This person is this. Now, watch me in Well Oiled. What have I done? Same thing. Main teacher, main coach. I'm the one teaching my strategies. What have I started doing the last, 2-3 years? This person is amazing at sales. You want them. This person is amazing at marketing. You want them, right? Same thing, you guys. When people are like, Stacy, your business is different than mine. I wouldn't be able to do this. My two businesses are totally different. I'm using the same strategies. Business principles are foundational, right? Those foundational business principles are identical. No matter what you do, put in the chat right now. What do you sell? What do you do? Who's your client? Okay. Fill me in. So even like that was kind of step one, is like, I'm still teaching. I just have less on my calendar. And I've started to put these other people in where you're excited. And I know from being inside of Well Oiled, some of you can't make my call, but you are not missing the marketing call, or you're not missing the sales call, or you're not missing the operations call because you need help and you want support and you love the person that's teaching it. So the brand inside of Well Oiled is already bigger than me. If something were to happen to me and I had to walk away for 6 months to take care of myself or my family, I guarantee you 95% of that room is staying because they see value in more than just me, right? Now, 2 years ago, I don't know that that would have been the case. And there might have been like refund requests and like very concerned and very confused. Whereas Stacy, who's going to be teaching us, right? Right now, it's so much bigger than me. I only teach once a month live. There's people teaching Monday through Thursday every day of the month. Like there's so many people in there, right? Okay, I love this, you guys. Thank you for posting this. So where, right? How can I start to do that? So I didn't just say, oh, I'm replacing myself. I started to slowly add people, and I'm letting other people build credibility with me, right? And then I started to put less classes on my calendar every year. What's happening in Well Oiled? Well, I used to be there weekly. Now I'm there monthly. Same strategy, right? Same strategy. Okay. Now, just, if you're a client, I will still be there monthly for a while. So you don't have to worry about like, how fast is she backing out? No. This is like, now this is just a place where this is my passion project, right? This, like, I get to show up and do the things I love. And like I said, teaching live, I'm a performer. Like get me on stage, get me a microphone. This is like where I thrive, right? I would rather be on stage. I say on stage, like virtual stage, real stage. Like I love the events. I love all of that. So don't worry. I'm not going anywhere, but I had to work my way out from all of that. So now let's go back to the studio. At some point, I got more and more and more selective about what I was offering. And I just kept raising my prices for me specifically. And pretty soon, I didn't have many left at the end. Everybody else was getting a full schedule. And that's when I realized, like, I can leave next year on the schedule and no one's going to care, right? Or they're going to care, but they're going to just suck it up and still go to one of our other teachers. And the year that I completely said, I am not going to be in the classroom, I said, but here's where I am going to be. I'm going to be at the front desk. And what I just did in the classroom and how I systematized everything and got the teachers to a certain level, I'm going to do that at the front desk. So I actually I had at the time some part-time people at the front desk, some high school kids. It just really wasn't anything to really brag about. I decided I'm going to sit at the desk Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'm going to open this place. I'm going to close this place. And they're going to see I'm not gone. I'm just over here. Right. And it kind of gave people the relief of like, okay, she didn't just like vanish. I'm actually more visible now than I ever was. I'm just in a different department. So do you see how I did that? I went in, put a yes in the chat if you're like, oh, that's brilliant. Okay. I went into the department of fulfillment. I worked through it a couple years. I got it solid. I put somebody in charge of it. And I said, you're in charge, maintain my results. I'm now going to the front desk office admin staff. Is this clicking? Amazing. Okay. So now I'm working the desk. I'm the only desk person. I think I probably like let go of everybody that wasn't a good fit. I'm working it. I'm systematizing the desk. I'm figuring out efficiencies. I'm figuring out all of this stuff. Okay. And pretty soon I'm like, all right, I've got this dialed in. Now I'm going to go hire some good people, some people that you're going to start to respect and understand. Like, oh, like, when you walk in a place and you're like, oh, it's that person working. They're not going to be able to help me. I might as well wait until this person's back, right? I needed to make sure that if I wasn't present, but the other person was, you're like, oh, perfect. They can still help me. Okay. So for a few years, I trained the front desk people. Okay. So I was actually pregnant and training them. So literally up until the moment I had my baby, I was at the desk working, getting those people set up and systematized, making sure I had credible, amazing, smart people so that when I actually went on maternity leave and was gone, they had already trusted all of the people that were replacing me because they had seen us together for so long. So it was like I worked by myself for a little bit. Then I started training and we co-did it for a while. So I literally stayed with my people training up until I had baby, but I would be like, if I was at the front desk with somebody working and somebody would walk in the door, I would like get up from the desk and like move over and be like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And then they would get in line at the desk and have to talk to that person, but they knew I was there, right? But I would give that person the opportunity to show I can help you. Ask me your question. I'm capable. I'm smart enough. I can answer your question, right? And people were starting to be like, "Oh, this person's good. Like Stacey's not answering it, but she is there if we needed her." And right. So by the time I go to maternity leave, they were so trained just to walk up to that person and the person could answer. They were golden. And then I just never went back to the desk, you guys. Like I just never went back in there. I stayed on maternity leave. Right. But I had given my reputation was high. I know how to find excellent people, kind people, nice people, capable people, and you can trust me. Right. And I think in both businesses, that is our reputation. Our reputation is we have incredible team members in both of our teams. Incredible. We know how to hire. It is a skill set I have worked on for so many years. And oh man, I used to be really, really bad, like really, really bad, right? I would be desperate. I would take anybody. I would ignore red flags. But I mean, I've been doing this now 23 years. I started to go, oh, you can't do that. And that is a red flag. And we can't like ignore that red flag. We have to understand that that's going to show up 6 months from now. So we're not going to hire that person. Right. And now because I know how to hire and people know I know how to hire, they trust me when I say, oh, and this person is going to take care of you. Right. Okay. So what I want you to understand is this is not a rip the band-aid and your people are just going to trust you. This takes time. And my biggest piece of advice for somebody who likes the idea of building a business that's not reliant 100% on them is don't think you're going to do this strategy when you're ready to leave. This strategy, when done right, is like 10 years in the making, 5 years in the making. You've been planning this all along. They don't even see it coming because it's been so gradual. They haven't even noticed the changes. Like there's somebody well-oiled who is like, wait, what? She used to teach weekly? I see her once a month. Like they don't even know that or remember because I went from weekly to 3 times for a while. And then I went to 2 times a month for a while. And we only sold it as once a month, even though I was going twice a month, so that we didn't lie and set bad expectations. They just thought, oh, for 3 months, for some reason, she's going twice a month. That's pretty cool. I get a bonus. Right. And we like faded into that. Okay. Put yes in the chat if this is clicking and you're starting to see what do I need to do to get this business to run without me. Okay. Brooke says, I need to start charging more. How do I start that process and explain to my clients that have been with me for 17 years? Okay. Brooke, what do you do? Can you say what you do? Did you already put this in the chat? Proactive strategic tax planning. Oh, easy, Brooke, easy. Oh, I've got you. Okay. So, okay. So first of all, so tax planning. Oh, pet groomer. Oh, there's 2 Brooks. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you for saying that because there's 2 of you. Okay. So pet groomer. I don't even know who grooms my dog. Like, that's so funny that you're like, they need me. Okay. So first, if you're the pet groomer and everybody knows you're the pet groomer, like they go, like Brooke is going to like I'm handing my dog to Brooke and they know it. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do, Brooke, is you're going to start to get your replacement and your replacement's going to be with you. Okay. And when these people come to be like, hi, I've got an appointment with Brooke, you are not going to be the one at the desk. You are going to have, or you're going to be at the desk with your replacement. And you're going to be like, oh, thanks, Joan. So excited to see you. I want to introduce you to Sally. Sally's actually my new assistant. She's helping me with whatever. So we're going to both be taking care of little Tucker today. And Sally's here and we just introduced, and Sally's going to go down on her knees and she's going to be petting the dog, and the dog's, my dog loves everybody. I don't know that he's like judging anybody. He's going to be like excited, right? Because he's in a place he's familiar with. That's the owner's still there. And Sally's going to take the leash and we're going to walk him back. And that's going to keep happening, right? And one day you're not at the desk at all. It's like Sally's like waiting for little Tucker, and it's like, oh, amazing. So Brooke's in the back. I'm going to walk Tucker into Brooke and we're going to get him done. And pretty soon I'm falling in love with Sally and I don't need to see Brooke anymore. Does that make sense? Okay. So that is just an easy strategy of like, they still think they're getting you, but pretty soon they're like, Sally's pretty nice. I really like Sally. Okay. Now the next thing is there's going to be people who at some point you want to be like, I'm not cutting your dog's hair, right? So that's when you start to say, here are my prices. If you want me, it's this much. Okay. Oh, Brooke, this is even easier. But this was good for everybody else to hear, like how we start to do this. Okay. So your prices are this. Here are other prices, right? Now, my point is when you bring in your like extra person, and you can have that extra person be the price you were doing, you can say, just so you know, Sally's been assisting me for 3 months. You've been seeing this. I've actually been having him like, have you liked the haircuts? Yeah, that Sally's been doing it. So you can have Sally keep doing it for this price point. If you want me to specifically cut his hair, I'm this much. They're going to go, oh yeah. I mean, if she's been doing it, and that's, yeah, like I don't need some magic haircut for my dog if I've been liking it. Now he's had a bad haircut. Trust me, if I knew who did it, I wouldn't go back to that person. But I'm saying, like, if I'm currently liking it and you're telling me she's been doing it and she's the same price or you're higher, I'm probably going to say, let's just let Sally do it. Yeah. So yes, slow transitions are the best, right? And warning people, you're not going anywhere, right? And I always like to tell people too, like, so I'm going to be taking less clients. I've had to raise my rates. And honestly, for me, I just need to, like, the business is growing. We're growing so fast. And I need to make sure that I'm focused on the company and the employees, and I need to lead them, right? So I'm just on the calendar last. That's why my prices have risen. I only have spots for X amount of people. But let me tell you, I am training these people. I am personally training these people. Like, I am putting my stamp of approval on that Sally is phenomenal. Okay. And again, if your reputation is like, Brooke always takes care of me, she always fixes mistakes, she always handles things like with grace and the way she should, if something's wrong, they will trust the transition as well. That doesn't mean they're not going to be sad or be like, oh, but Tucker loves Brooke, we'll be fine. Okay. We'll be fine. So I want you just to know, like, there are phases, and the goal is to figure out what would be the phase. Like just like I said, like, somebody's with you and they're with you for a while, and then like pretty soon you're just like, oh, hey. And then you're running back in and you're like there for like half a second. And then the next time you're not there at all. Right. And all of a sudden they start to not notice the change. If it's a ripping of the Band-Aid, everybody notices. If it's a gradual situation, people may not notice or they may not care. Right. Okay. I love it. Am I trying to get my business to run without me at the restaurant, without me, too soon? Okay. So the only way that it's too soon, if there are balls dropping and mistakes being made, Richard. Okay. If you can be gone and people can have a great experience, great food, great customer experience, and things are fine, you're fine. But if you pull out and they overcharge somebody and there was this complaint and you had a bad Yelp review, you're going too soon, right? So we really just want to watch what is happening. And all I truly do is what I start to do, I don't just go from something to nothing overnight. So for instance, let's say I was doing something daily. I might start to go 4 times a week to the thing I was doing daily. Okay. And I might do that 3 weeks in a row. So you kind of know, like, she's usually here, but sometimes she's not. That's like my reputation, right? Like, that's what people think of me. And then After you feel that, when I get rid of one more day, you actually don't notice because again, she's usually here, but sometimes she's not, right? And there's a time when I might say, "Hey guys, you may have noticed I come about 3 times a week." And I want to let you know that right now my plan is to start showing up about twice a week. I'm going to be here Mondays and Wednesdays. And here's what I'm focused on. I'm not like not working. I'm just focused on different things. And here's what I'm focused on. And within the next 90 days, my goal is to just be here on Mondays. Right? And then they get in the rhythm of like you're here just not every 90 days. And then pretty soon you decide, is it even that much? Right? Like whatever it is. So a lot of times it's like I might be doing something from daily to weekly to monthly to quarterly. Okay. But give it some time. If you go daily this week and 4 days next week and 3 days next week, your reputation is, oh, she works less and less every week. Do you see the difference, guys? We wanted to like go down a step, settle, down a step, settle. And when I say settle, I mean get the results to where they need to be, maintain, show that it's like that you don't have to be there for results, that they're supported without you. Okay. And then I do like to justify. Now, somebody will argue with me and say, I don't need to justify to my team members who I'm paying what I'm doing with my time. So I am not going to tell them that. Okay. I've worked with hundreds of people, and there are some people that are like, absolutely not. I'm not telling them. Here is an analogy that will help you. I think I am similar parenting as I am as a leader. Would I ever not tell my children, like if I pick you up every day from school and then one day I just am not, and I've hired a nanny and she's picking you up from school, would I like tell my kids what's going on and why it's happening? And would I give them an explanation? Or would I be like, excuse me, I am in charge. And if I want to send a nanny to pick up my kids, I'll be sending a nanny to pick up my kids. No, we would be like, all right, kids. So I just want to let you know, mom got a new job and we're hiring somebody to help us out. And I still love you. And I'm still going to be there when they drop you off from school. But Sally's going to be picking you up from school every day. Okay. And I know this is a change. And, do you have any concerns or is anything you want to say? That is how you talk to your team. You're like, all right, guys, I know you've been seeing me every day. And I know you've been messaging me whenever you want. And I love that. And I love you guys. But here's what needs to happen for the business. And here is what I'm going to be working on. And here's what I'm going to be doing. I'm still here. And I'm like, I 1000% believe you need to be telling them. You need to be just explaining this. Like you are the leader, lead them. Okay. So that's what I want you thinking about. Yeah. Okay. Christina, when I'm not there, I worry about what is happening. If I don't hear from them, is it because they are crazy busy or there's no time to update me, or is everything going okay and they are just being productive? Okay. So of course you worry because you're like, but I'm not there. What is going on? Right. So maybe Christina, set up certain boundaries of non-negotiable. I want to hear from you at 7 p.m. Even if it's crazy busy, everything's going great, we're good. If this is just like transition number 1 of like, could you please, for my sake, just say, I've got this. That would make me at 7:00 enjoy the rest of my night. You could do that. Okay. Now, when they start saying every night at 7:00, we're good, I've got this, you can say, all right, we don't need to keep doing that. Like you've clearly got it. It's fine. And if it's not fine, please call me. I want to help. Right. So I think, again, like if you were there constantly and now you're just not there, you might have like a mid-shift check-in and an end of shift check-in. And then pretty soon you're like, I don't need the mid-shift, just do the end of the shift. And you might be watching the end of shift as soon as you're done with your shift, but pretty soon you're checking like when you're back in for work the next day. Does that help, Christina? I think it's totally normal to worry like that. Of course, this is your baby. Right? Of course. But until you've earned their trust and they've earned yours, it's going to feel a little scary. Okay. Joseph, I'm a mobile pet groomer in California. I'm looking to get out of the operational side. And what you just said is amazing. Joseph, I am so happy to hear that. We have made this business all about us. We are amazing. We started a business and it's actually making money. That is not an easy thing to do. So we do have an ego that's saying like, I did this. I'm part of the success. But if you are as good as you say you are, you should be able to train other people. That is where a true master can teach others. If you're like, I'm so good, I'm so unique, there's no way somebody could do what I'm doing. I actually think it's just a lack of experience understanding that a good leader can train. A good leader can break down what makes them so unique and what makes it. I mean, I don't think I'm that special that everything I'm good at is just something that only I'm good at and I couldn't teach you. I think any one of you that wanted to learn something I'm good at, I could show you exactly what I do and how I do it. Now, are you naturally going to be as good as certain things as me? Maybe not, but again, I'm selectively hiring who I want to hire. So if I'm trying to replace somebody for me to teach and go on camera and they're not great at camera, well, I'm not going to probably hire them for that job. I'm going to find somebody who has like the skill set of being entertaining and going on camera, and then I'm going to train them. Okay. All right. So, guys, first of all, there is a free workbook for today. If you go on Instagram at Stacy Tuschl and you comment the word freedom, you DM me the word freedom, we will get you today's free workbook. The workbooks are gold. There's so much extra training in there for you to also be able to go back and reference, how do I start to do this? And I didn't even get into like the nitty gritty of like certain systems. That's going to be in the workbook. So go to Instagram, DM me the word freedom. We will get that over to you. Make sure to follow me on Instagram as well as YouTube as well. Okay. Christina, should each person do a daily check-in or just the main manager? I love it. Christina, each person should give the check-in to the manager. The manager is the gatekeeper. That gatekeeper is the only person giving you messages, or your life will be miserable having 6 people message you. So have that person collect all of it. And then you've got one person. Okay. All right. Perfect. So good. All right, so couple things that I want to share, and I have to actually wrap up today because we are in the middle of our quarterly planning for Q2. It is March 19th. If you have not started planning Q2, it is time. So I'm going to give you just like a 20-second overview what that looks like. So my leaders and I are sitting down today reviewing what happened in Q1, reviewing our annual goals. Are we on track? Are we behind? Where is our biggest problem in the business right now? What's thriving? What are we maintaining? What do we want to scale? What does success look like at the end of Q2? And we're really just kind of cleaning that up. So they're just on a lunch break right now. And we'll be back all day today. So far what we've done in 2 hours is we've shared wins. We've shared progress, updates. We reviewed, did we hit our goals from last quarter? And now we have just hit what we believe to be our top 5 goals for Q2. And actually, when I left, they had only picked 4. And we're not sure we even have a 5th. We don't know. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we for sure have 4 big goals we're focusing on. And there's one from marketing, one from sales, one from customer success, one from operations. Okay. Basically what we say is, if we only get those 4 things done by the end of Q2, this is going to be a huge success for us. And that's how we look at it. Now, when I go back, there may or may not be a 5th. They'll fill me in. And then we start to go, okay, now that we know big picture, let's dig into marketing. Let's dig into customer success. They're each going to have their own time to say, okay, if that's our goal, tell us everything we need to know. Problems, opportunities, new hire requests, like what are we thinking? What is it going to take? All of that, if that makes sense. Okay. So we're working on finalizing that still. I mean, guys, I only went 2 hours into a 2-day planning. So it was still a lot to do. We may tweak some of those once we dig in deeper to problem solutions, et cetera, with each department. Sound good? So do me the biggest favor, put the word freedom in the comments right now. Freedom is the word you're going to DM me on Instagram at Stacy Tuschl if you want to get our beefed up workbook. If you haven't seen our workbooks, you guys, this is just an example of one. This is what they look like. I mean, like lots and lots of content inside of here. So go DM us. We'll make sure to make that happen and get it over to you. I am back with these live videos every single week. We've got some really good topics coming up, but if there is a topic you want me to go deeper on, put it in the comments right now. Let us know what you want to hear. My team will come back later and kind of grab some of these as well. We want to support you in any way we can. Like I said, I love doing these lives. So I want to make sure we're attacking problems you are currently working on. All right, you guys, thank you for a great live. I will see you soon. If you have not been watching our YouTube videos, we are dropping fresh YouTube videos every single Thursday. So definitely take some time to binge some of those. You're going to love them. Okay. Ooh, I love it. Brooke says more SOPs. And Brooke, we have, if you go in right now to our YouTube channel and type in systems or SOPs, there's going to be some really solid videos to get you started. And if you have any follow-up questions, ask me more. I want to serve. Okay. All right, guys, have a great rest of your week. Thanks for hitting the subscribe button and following us on here on YouTube. I will see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.